All right, the fuck now!
That came from Jeremiah.
Testing microphone 1 2 3. Hello, checking. Hello, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, audio box.
Apply. Can you guys hear me now? Check, check, check. All right, it should be on my, it should be all set. Can you guys hear me? All right, they should be able to hear me now. I'm sorry about that. They, OBS just loves screwing with my sound every time I try to do a stream. So we're talking about Elon Musk today, and he was recently on the Joe Rogan Experience on February 11th, and UFO Twitter has been going in a shitstorm ever since. People are just like, what is up with Elon's questions? Is it true Elon Musk looked really uncomfortable when Joe Rogan brought up the Tic Tac UAP? I think it's because he thinks all UFO stuff is complete bollocks as opposed to him being told not to talk about it. Although such a silly question, I mean, such a question can ultimately only lead to conjecture. That was Ryan, a post-disclosure world. That would be one of the dumbest things, UFO Believers says, that would be one of the dumbest things of 2021, really. A CEO of a space company saying that he didn't know about the Nimitz Tic Tac case. That's impossible. That's like literally impossible. Like, really? Where has Elon Musk been living for the past 3 years? This story's been in the New York Times. It's been, you can't avoid a conversation about it on Twitter, like almost. I've seen multiple people, like there's been like, over the past 3 years, there's been multiple like organized UFO Twitter campaigns to literally bombard his feed with this stuff. So it's just like, it's literally impossible. Like I can't play the clip because it belongs to Spotify and it's on here, and I'll get, you know, I don't want to get copyright strike violations and all that nonsense. But you guys can go look it up. It's about 28 minutes in on the Spotify interview, 1609. And it's where he's asked about the Tic Tac. And he literally says, you know, like his response is just weird. He's like taken aback, and his body language and everything is just like really weird. So it's got everyone on UFO Twitter like, does this guy like know a ton more than he thinks, like than he's saying? He's got to like be like on the inside. This billionaire CEO of one of the biggest tech companies in the world. This how does this guy had never heard of this? And there's been campaigns, like he's on Twitter, and there's campaigns to literally does he just not read the replies to him on Twitter? He just not look at any of it? I mean, is he like, I don't know. Is he kept in a shell like with the algorithm, so he's just never exposed to this stuff ever? And to have like, he's been asked questions about the warp drive too. So this one I'll play because this is a bit older and it's not, it doesn't matter so much anymore. But this one's really interesting. Let's play this one. It's only a minute long.
I just have to ask you, have you literally looked into or had someone look into, or are they still looking into for you whether you can do warp drive? I mean, really,
yeah,
is that question?
actually is a, well, you know, there actually seems to be, oddly enough, some breakthrough on the whole warp drive thing, because you can't exceed the speed of light, but technically it is possible, theoretically possible, to warp space itself, so that even on in your local space-time continuum, you're not traveling faster than the speed of light, but you're warping space such that space is moving.
And that's
okay,
why.
got that?
Is that a? Now wait a minute. I actually.
All right, that kind of confused it a little bit, but anyone who's paying attention, you're warping space. You're warping space so fast that space. You're warping space-time so quickly. Let's listen to it again.
And that's
Okay,
why.
got that?
You're not traveling faster than the speed of light, but you're warping space such that space is moving.
And that's
Okay,
why.
got that?
He's warping space such that space is moving.
Now wait a minute.
Well, we'll talk about that. We talk
Actually-
all about this. So
Kind of
It's because you
vaguely
like Star Trek.
understood.
He goes to the Star Trek Museum in Las Vegas, so that's not.
Is that like in the fourth quarter or next year?
Well, I'm not sure if warp drives ultimately. I mean, warp drive may or may not come to fruition. But I think if we at least have a base on Mars, that's going to create a forcing function for the improvement of space transport technology, and gives us the best chance of ever achieving something like a warp drive that would enable.
Travel easily.
Yeah.
So I don't get what he said right there, but he basically said that we need to go to Mars first to learn about space, and that's why we don't have a warp drive, because we got to go to Mars first. This is just really weird and confusing, and just it seems like everything he said about warp drive or UFOs and this kind of stuff has been a diversion. It's almost like he's diverting. And I got a lot of comments in here that think he's definitely lying and he's bad at playing poker and all that stuff. Man, it really is. I don't know. I can't believe that this guy, leader of SpaceX, doesn't have a warp drive division. We've blown up his SpaceX feed with warp drive stuff too. Let me find that. Let me bring up the picture too that we had. Where is that photo that we had? Is it in downloads? Oh no, what is this? Hold on a second. I'm gonna get this image right here. Here it is. Hold on a second. I can't bring it over to that screen, can I? No, I can't. Let me 1 second. Technical difficulties. There we go. Here we go. So this was a tweet from Neil deGrasse Tyson. This was screenshotted. It wasn't 1 day ago. This was actually on in December 6th of 2019, or December 5th, rather, if it was 1 day ago, before then. So anyways, Neil deGrasse Tyson says, "Dear Elon Musk, when are you going to stop dallying with Mars, rockets, and hyperloops and electric trucks and brain-computer interfaces, and turn your ample resources toward developing a warp drive? Sincerely, the space geeks of the world." That was a truly awesome and profound statement. 122,000 likes it got. This was a great moment for me, like personally, because Neil deGrasse Tyson was like pretty much ignoring warp drive for years too, and then all of a sudden he's done a 180 on warp drive, and now he's pro warp drive and wants it for all the space geeks in the world and stuff, because he was not saying anything about that for years and kind of even ridiculing people that would talk about anti-gravity or these other things for
Absolutely, man, that's so awesome. I can't say that I've ever heard Neil deGrasse Tyson use the exact words that I've been wanting to ask Elon Musk for years, but I'll say in this case, he does represent exactly what I want to know. Where is Elon Musk's research program for warp drive or any other alternative propulsion systems at all?
They've got to have one, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this is his response again, this generic, if we create a city on Mars, Earth-Mars travel will be a powerful forcing function for inventing something like warp drive. What does that mean? It's like saying that, we have rowboats, so we need to take one and sail it to America and develop, a colony in America, and before we can invent sails, before we can invent sailing ships to sail across the sea, I think that as more, travel happens with rockets, people will develop warp drives in the future. This is not something that's attainable now in any way, by any means. This is something very distant in the future, and we need to focus on creating a city on Mars first, before we can do warp drive. It's like, dude, you know something, or you're really dumb. You're either playing dumb or you are dumb. Like straight up.
Yes, before we build a pump, we should fill the pool with buckets.
Indeed.
And once the pool is full of water, then we can build a pump, so if we ever need to fill it again, then we won't have to work so hard, right?
You must take my advice. I'm a billionaire genius. Okay, I've made more money in my life than you, so therefore I'm smarter and better at things and building things than you. Okay? This is ridiculous, dude. I'm going to start the grandmother challenge, bro. All right? I want everyone in the live chat and everyone who watches this video on replay to literally go out and ask your grandmother if she's heard of the Tic Tac UFO. Okay? That's just what I want. Okay? Elon Musk must be living under a rock or in a cave. This is the grandmother challenge, people. I want you to go out and ask your grandmother, just straight up, or if your grandmother's dead, sorry, I'm sorry for your loss. Ask your mother, or go find an old lady at the grocery store and be like, "Excuse me, ma'am, I was wondering if you were aware of the New York Times Tic Tac UFO and that Nimitz encounter and the pilots that saw these unidentified craft." You know, he's done a great, I'm not doing the Elon hating, okay? We're not here hating on Elon Musk, plan B, okay, for one. We're here just pointing out the obvious, okay? This isn't hate. This is just people
Consider this prodding him in the
rational.
right direction. That's what we're really trying to do is motivate him to go look into this and talk about it.
I'm not trying to turn away Elon Musk from researching warp drive. We're trying to poke him towards researching warp drive in a friendly manner. That's literally, we have to call him out on his bullshit. Because anyone who hasn't heard of the Tic Tac in the last 3 years, go ask your grandmother, please. Like, I want to find people, find someone who doesn't know about this or isn't paying attention to this. Even my college professors, have heard about this new developments. It's been all over the news. It's literally, call him out on this, because that is bullshit. All right? It is. Straight up. I'm not gonna argue it nobody outside the UFO world knows about the Tic Tac. It was in the New York Times, bro. You're not being rational. Go ask your grandmother. You know about the Tic Tac, right? Go ask your grandmother if she's not in the UFO world. Go ask some old lady at the supermarket, okay? Everyone has heard of that Tic Tac. It's been shoved and jammed down everyone's throats through every angle of the internet for the past 3 to 4 years. Okay? If you haven't heard of it, then you literally it's like saying that you haven't heard of COVID-19. It's like, what's COVID? Oh, there's an airborne respiratory virus? Okay, so he thinks we're in our own information bubble regarding this stuff. Maybe we are. Maybe this has been kept in this bubble, and we're just we barely have burst through to this mainstream. I don't know. It's not. Yeah, I know it is, and that's what it was to me. It was just another UFO story. I wish I could bring people's comments up and I don't know how Steve Cambion does that on his show, but I still haven't learned that trick. I don't know. I just think it's kind of ridiculous, bro. He's done great things for electric cars. He's done amazing things for the environment and for space travel with what he's done with SpaceX. Really shown the government that the private industry can do it better, that individual people can do it better. But his ignorance of warp drive and the statements that he's made about warp drive to Neil deGrasse Tyson just in December of last year, and other statements, and the whole issue with SpaceX and warp drive, right? There's absolutely zero reason that space drive should not have a warp drive division. They should have somebody looking into it. And if they don't have anyone, I will work for free. I've been working for free. I will literally work for them for free and bring them the people. I have the human resources. I have all the skills. Literally, you're a con man and you're a liar, Elon Musk. All right. If this video does not reach you, then I literally lose all respect for you, because for real, I will work for free to do this for SpaceX. Maybe they don't want the publicity. Maybe it's threatening their stranglehold on the space market with rockets. Maybe that's why they're not looking into warp drive. Maybe that's why Elon's so hesitant to talk about warp drive or even suggest to the modern public that there might be alternative propulsion technologies besides his rockets. So think about that for a second, all right? I'm just gonna leave it at that. Really, he's a great man. He's done great things for human civilization, but he's hung up and he's wrong. He's playing out wrong, or he's lying on this warp drive and this alien stuff, man. He's got to know more than this stuff. It's just ridiculous, dude. Like, I am crowdfunding it. We are crowdfunding it. People can donate. There's a link to donate Bitcoin right in the description of this video. Oh, now we're hesitating. Now my stream's popping out. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, we have things set up to do that. We have a conference today, actually. APEC will be today. You can go to altpropulsion.com. Or you can go to AmericanAntiGravity.com. And you'll find the APEC Conference, which is the Alternative Propulsion Engineering Conference. And I'd like to invite Elon Musk. I'd like to invite anyone who's interested in warp drive or investigating, the possibilities of other types of space drives and space travel to join our group. We have the largest and fastest growing group of engineers and physicists who are working on concepts and fundamental experiments on anti-gravity and warp drive technology. We have the human resources. I've been running this and collecting and contacting people for the past decade and a half, and I have some amazing contacts and resources. Of course, Tim Ventura is running the APEC conference for us. He's been an amazing resource and ally in this team for the plan for getting off the planet and getting us all off the planet. So you can learn more about the team and our members and our presenters right here on the website under People, the People page. You can contact us, join us, and get on the email list. And this is alphabetical, by the way. So, and we have a bunch of people that join from time to time and come in from outside and have helped, contribute to the group. So, and the number of presenters is growing constantly. We have so many people booked up right now. And we're asking more. Sometimes people drop out and we have slots to fill. So we're asking everyone who's interested in presenting their theory or their experiments on anti-gravity to join our group, join our events, and share what you know. And we're going to bring this out publicly. And I think it's time for this to get out of the black world and out of the top secret world of top secret programs and get into the public and get into the commercial enterprises, which are potentially worth billions of dollars. So I don't see why, investors and other people wouldn't be interested in this. I know that there's a lot of interest privately that's not talked about, and there's a lot of underground groups working on this. Despite the ones that are out and coming public. And some of those are people, there's a lot of people connected to the group that aren't ready to come public yet, that are, involved as well, and helping out with the case and the drive for how do we get space to move fast enough to warp space-time. Well, we talk about a lot of these things on our conference, slowing light down, how to create negative mass and negative energies states. We're going to have lots of these discussions today. We're going to have the team together at 3:30 p.m. And at 3:30 p.m., the APEC conference will start. And here on AlienScientist, we'll be broadcasting that live to you. And you guys can tune in live, ask questions of our scientists, and even send this link and send a link to all the other scientists that so that they can also jump on board and help out with the cause. So Yeah, maybe Elon does live in a very small bubble. Maybe it's just his office that's secluded where he runs, Tesla and SpaceX from, and he just doesn't talk to anybody or doesn't read any of the tweets that I bombard him with, and have started campaigns to literally, bang down his door to inform him on this stuff, So it's not like this bubble isn't, you'd say that I'm just in this little bubble. No, this isn't a bubble, bro. Like, you have no idea how many people are connected with this, and how, like, I have 100,000 subscribers. I know that YouTube messes with the view counts. We probably have twice this many people watching right now, and they have my view counts. I watch my view counters drop. I watch my, you can't even find my channel by searching AlienScientist anymore on YouTube. YouTube is like almost completely just algorithmically destroyed the search results, and unless you're searching for very specific things and certain things, like generic keywords will bring up all the most generic stuff, so you'll have to like talk about something very specific that's to my channel, or something that you'd have to have heard of on my channel. You're never going to stumble across the kind of near borderline breaking classified technology kind of stuff that we discuss on this topic. It's suppressed heavily by the algorithms and by the big tech companies that want to keep this private and in private hands. And it's not going to stay in private hands. I'm just letting them, and I'm letting everyone on the internet know, like, the public knows about this. Because of the way the internet works and the way that information works now in the 21st century and now in 2021, we're just letting them know that there are no secrets anymore. All they can do is just shovel more bullshit on the pile and build up their huge audience channels that support nonsense and bullshit. And that's literally all they can do anymore to suppress, real people getting together and talking about real information. And it works. It works great because that stuff's distracting. It's less intellectual, so it's easier to follow. It's easier to understand and see what's going on. But so, anyways, no, David Alzafan is not the guy who runs the Astron X YouTube channel. David Alzafan is the son of Frank Alzafan? What's his father's name?
I have a document from 1985 showing some gimbal technology or tech.
Yeah, let's talk about some other technology. The Alzafan's one thing. That was the one experiment that was done by Boeing on in the 1980s on spin states and understanding nuclear dynamic orientation and how that might affect or have something to do with anti-gravity. And now our understanding of spin states and kind of condensed matter physics has gotten a lot more advanced in the past 40 years since the early 1980s. Not condensed matter, condensed milk, condensed matter physics. That's a little different. So basically, we have a whole new understanding of these types of optical materials as these materials that have the ability to, with spin states and dielectrics, to basically do the same thing that we want to do with Alzafan, but do it optically and with optical technologies rather than nuclear magnetic resonance and that type of approach. So that's sort of where I think we're still doing the Alzafan to see what happened in the 1980s when they performed that experiment, because it would be super interesting. But again, this is like the old version of this is like the Model T. This is like the Model T versus the Ferraris that we're talking about now with these advanced waveguides and metamaterials and negative index refraction materials, nonlinear optical materials, and spin glasses, which is the future. That was what was in those recently declassified FOIAs, and that's what they've been studying in top secret aerospace and defense research programs for the past decade and a half. 2 decades, going back to 1999. Before I was really getting into the stuff. I got into the stuff around 2004, and but anyways, David Alzafan. And let me answer some other questions from the chat, and then we're going to wrap this up because we got to go get ready and get everything prepared for this conference today. yeah, remember to smash that like button. We have 227 people looking and not nearly enough likes. Liking this video really helps boost me in the algorithms, and I need that boost because my channel is it just gets suppressed because we talk about a lot of controversial things on here, and we have panels and lots of controversial stuff gets brought up, and that immediately gets flagged by these algorithms because we're talking about, you know, racy, conspiratorial, controversial stuff, and then my video gets bumped down because of that. So let's talk about slowing down light and how it allows you to warp local space and that sort of idea. Well, if you get enough light energy trapped in a waveguide and you slow it down and get it, trapped in there, let's find some videos on this. So if you get enough light trapped in a waveguide and you store enough energy in there, you can actually produce, you can actually pull antimatter out of the vacuum temporarily in these temporary coherent states what are called polaritons. A polariton is like polar. It's like a particle, but it's a particle that only exists inside of a material. It's a virtual particle because once you have a photon that goes into your glass, like the light that's going through this glass right now, you can think of a photon as going into this material, which is a dielectric glass material, right? And it is transmuted through that dielectric material and out the other side, which is why it's clear and I can see through it. And the idea is that certain materials are different than glass, and they'll actually trap the light inside it and get it, rotating in a circle. And if you get enough light trapped in there and rotating in a circle, then it produces a coherent light matter coupling, which literally can pull these antimatter particles out of the vacuum and it produces coherent states at much lower energies than you need for Bose-Einstein condensation. So Bose-Einstein condensate is like you have to supercool these to really, really cold temperatures in a Bose-Einstein condensate, right? And this is the graph to understand in condensed matter physics, and that most things in our real world, in our macroscopic world, are in this disordered state, above here. And then you, as you slow down these functions, you can get to this quantum critical level and then this classical critical level of this, or where there are these, and then it goes down here into ordered states. And the idea is that you want to turn your disordered state of this, because gravity is an emergent phenomenon in our model, and gravity emerges from the disordered state of all these wave interactions of just the universe and the general noise of what we call photons, but it's really just the universe communicating with everything else through these waves, which we call photons or light corpuscles. All right. So everything's communicating. All matter in the universe is sort of communicating. No, it is communicating with all the other matter in the universe at all times through this like coherent exchange of information, or what we call just electromagnetic waves and emergent electromagnetic phenomena. And if you coat your surface of your craft with materials that can produce these ordered states and these, at this critical level, along that critical curve where you can create just enough order in that one topologically wrapped environment, then you can literally, it kind of breaks everything off inside from the rest of the universe in a way that because it's no longer entangled outwardly, and the message of the mass and all the information that's inside that would normally be communicated through these electromagnetic waves and resonate with the rest of the world to tell, hey, I'm right here, and this is my inertia, and these are all the information that I'm holding right here, and you can literally change that to a quantum state in this quantum level. And you do that with trapping lots of light in these metamaterials and getting it pumped to high energies to produce what are called you can do this with very low energies, using it at if you do it with surface plasmon polaritons at resonance. And when you these surface plasmon polaritons at resonance, you don't need a lot of energy to pump into these states, because at resonance you just need a very small amount of energy, and you can just send these waves, and they go really far, and they get trapped for really long periods of time. And the best materials are these spin glasses, these highly super dielectrics. They're basically is what they are. They're like, it's like glass, but it's glass is actually opaque. It's at ultraviolet rays. That's why you have glass in your sunglasses. It blocks UV blocking glass, right? And UV blocking window film, because certain types don't. There's certain types of glass that won't, and there's certain types that will. So you have to look up whether they're UV blocking or not, and you can find that out. Scientists will be able to find that out or tell you that information. Probably the manufacturer should be able to tell you a lot of that information about glasses and UV blocking. So the idea is that spin glasses are like super glasses, and they don't block hardly any of these frequencies of light. They transmute all those frequencies of light. So you can do some amazing optical things that fool the universe's just core, the way that the core of the universe works. The way we model gravity is sort of as a shot noise or a background noise. And I don't want to go too much into this, because we want to get into, I wanted to get back to Sean and this Tic Tac thing, because we're not sure if the Tic Tac is this type of warp drive thing versus the other type of thing. But anyways, and we basically view the universe as discrete. It's not infinite. It's actually discrete bits of information that are discretely being exchanged through bits. They're very tiny and very small, and there's 10 to the 23rd of them, lots of them. So it's very hard to see the pixelation and this type of stuff in our experiments, but we can do it through these surfaces and these squeeze states, which kind of resolve this sort of shot. It will resolve the shot noise, resolve the what we believe is causing gravity through information loss and noise. And if you can resolve that noise, just like these squeeze states are used in the LIGO experiment to get rid of the noise in gravitational waves that we're receiving in the LIGO interferometer, these squeeze states can be used to also alter these gravitational waves in a similar manner. Usually when you can build a detector out of something, you can also build a transmitter. So if they're using this to detect gravity waves in the LIGO setup, then it's quite possible that we could be using it to actually control gravitational waves, if we just figure out the right application and the right materials and the right ways to build this. So that's the challenge. That's where we're working towards in the future, once we get through all of our other the history of all this anti-gravity research, which is quite voluminous, and a lot of it's been declassified over the last 4-5 years. And so we're just digging through it, which brings us to, let me bring up the drive. And actually, I want to hand this to you, Sean, and you can bring up the screen share. I'm going to give you the pin. I'm going to pin you for now. Where are you at? Sean, I'm going to unpin myself. All right, so Sean, you have the floor. I want you to get into the drive, and can you hear me, Sean?
Yep.
Why don't you get into the drive, and we'll show some of these declassified technologies that could explain the Tic Tac. In fact, the Tic Tac looks very similar to some of these technologies, I believe.
Yeah, the NASA hypersonic ramjet engine test is part of the. It's part of this. Anyway, so this is laser thermal air breathing propulsion technology, as in the laser can also be a microwave beam. This is the NASA's scramjet type of model that they were, the hypersonic model that they were proposing at the time. This is 1985. And if we go down just a little bit more, there's a radial form of this technology, which is very comparable to a Tic Tac, as you can see right here.
It's like almost the exact same shape. When you showed me that, I was like, dude, that looks just like that shape of the Tic Tac. I wonder if they've advanced that technology.
Yeah, they synergize it with MHD technology, which is magnetohydrodynamics, in order to control the plasma that they create. So this laser beam or microwave beam will hit the surface of the craft, and I believe this craft does have a smart skin.
Yeah, well, you showed me. Well, this is not the one. This one, not the one in the picture you're showing, because this is the older one that was declassified. And we posted this a month or two ago, and all the Leak Mirabu stuff. So Leak Mirabu is L-E-I-K. I'm going to post it in the live chat so everyone knows how to spell that. Leak Mirabu, and he was a NASA scientist that was working on a ton of this stuff. And then what happened with Leak is that some of his research went classified. We posted that stuff, and everyone was commenting on it and saying like, "Well, now you just got to figure out how to put the laser on board, so you don't have to beam it from the ground."
Yeah, right? I had stuff on that too, but
so like, well, that you don't think that you're the only one that thought of it, buddy, because anytime you think of something, just guarantee that someone else already thought of it and it's already being done, and you just got to go out and look for it. That's kind of how I've stumbled across so much stuff. Is because I just like, hey, I think about this and I think about that and I think about this, and it's like, well, if I can think about this, then someone else has, and usually they did, and I just have to search for it to find it. That's how I found evacuated tube transport, because I was like, hey, what if we did a vacuum train, and like, blah, blah, blah. I looked it up and I was like, holy crap, it's there.
So anyways, air comes in with the laser beam from the top, and the beam will then obviously reflect off the surface, and of course it goes through the inlet. And of course at the bottom here there'll be an expansion plug or expansion nozzle, which will also help the acceleration factor. Here's a little closer to the edge. This is the annular duct, the whatever you want to call it. Oops, should have done that. The accelerated exhaust flow comes out here, and what happens is, this is getting all clicky on me. So the high velocity gases right here, they're also being pulsed by a laser, and at the very bottom here there is an air breakdown and ignition of LSD waves. So there's LSC waves and LSD waves being created, and I have a little bit at the beginning of this, but I just kind of want to show you these pictures first.
LSD waves, man? That sounds...
So yeah, here's a flatter type model, kind of looking a little more like a saucer craft.
Wait, dude, did you say LSD waves?
Yeah, LSC and LSD waves.
Dude, imagine if they could just wave LSD on you. No, sorry. Anyways, I have to be sorry.
I know, it's wild.
I swear they pick some of this terminology too. So it's like, yeah, the DIRD. Yeah, we're talking about some, DIRDs, the DIRD, the Defense and Investigative Reports or whatever they're called. It's called a DIRD. Anyways, it's just funny.
Right on. But yeah, it shows you all the different designs and how much beam has to hit the thing, or how much beam can hit it in order to create lift. By changing the shape of the craft, you're reducing lift and all that stuff.
And this reminds me that the Drive article with by Brett Tingley that was like achieving hypersonic speeds by blasting microwaves in front of the craft.
This entire document also is done by Mirabu, too. A lot of people know that, or Mirabeau, or whatever you call them.
Right. No, so you see, like, some of these guys, they were publicly talking about this stuff in the 90s, and it was out there, and then it kind of disappeared and was just, like, erased from the history, like, erased from the, everywhere, and then you don't know where it went, and then all of a sudden it's like it emerges 20 years later in some black program. It's pretty crazy, and that it's pretty fun. It's awesome uncovering this stuff live for people, and I'm glad that we've got such a great... We have 235 people watching this now, man. I'm so glad this is finally breaking through to the mainstream. It's been so hard. I have been in sort of a bubble because of suppression of this information, and I'm glad that I got on Timcast and was able to break that bubble and introduce this to like a big audience, because then that got me a huge wave of new people that are are definitely into this, man. This is great stuff. So keep going, Sean. I want to learn more
Okay.
about this. This is like,
So yeah,
what year
so
is this patent? First off,
this stuff is from, well, actually, the document was made in 1983 and declassified in 1985.
it's like
So,
20 years old now, pretty
oh yeah,
almost.
oh, more than that. It's closer to
40
now.
Sorry, 40
Yeah,
years old.
that's kind of
I'm
getting
like,
embarrassing
right now.
saying that, but yes, it is getting closer to 40 years old. Anyways, laser flux comes down, the air breathing comes in. You can fill this little part here with hydrogen and oxygen. He made a design, or Mirabeau made a design where he could gather water from rain clouds and then use that as the fuel through a fuel cell type of effect. Anyways, the laser is reflected off this special surface, which is pretty much, focused out as the beam, so it could travel sideways as well as up and down. And of course, you can easily, these annular arrays, you can pretty much probably close and open them so that you can have full control over the direction you're aiming. Yeah, see, he's showing how to do sideways thrusting. Which parts to hit with the laser in order to get the thrust to do what it needs to. I gotta be quick too, because APEC's gonna be coming up. All right,
I know, right? Epic APEC.
You bet. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, there's of course, here it is a little more explained here. So there's the annular duct opening on the Tic Tac, and where the high beam laser windows are and stuff, primary optics, and of course, magnetohydrodynamic generator. That's of course how we have to create it. The duct is creating as the plasma generator that it's creating in order to control and manipulate it, and of course
So what is the plasma? Is it just energized air around the craft? They're just
energized air, and sometimes he likes to seed it with hydrogen, oxygen, or hydrogen.
So is this like where they blast the laser and cook the air and create like a hole through supercavitation?
Oh, well, let's see, what page am I on?
But this one, this is different. This literally blasts the laser and just heats a bunch of the air really quick, and then that creates like this impulse of almost like a cavitated air that creates this little push.
Yeah, it explains it in detail. I just got to find it real quick here. I'm trying to.
This isn't like a warp drive, like
no.
This isn't bending space time. It's just pushing big punches of air. It's punching air.
It's turning the air into a plasma and using magnetohydrodynamics to control it. And magnetohydrodynamics can bend space time or whatever you want to label it as. But yeah, so here they're explaining LSD waves, how the laser flux hits, and there's an expansion, fans, and all this stuff, blast waves, and I'm just trying to find it better. Because I know they did show it. See, I think he even shows the mathematical equations on how to do all this stuff. So yeah, there's LSC waves here. I wish I had that diagram right. Oh, there. Wait, maybe that's it. So yeah, all right. So here's the clean air breakdown threshold. So it hits here, and like obviously by the charge, the LSD waves, they're going through a transition. Sorry, LSSD waves and LSD waves are going through a transition. So this is the LSD wave, and it's moving along, turning to an LSC wave. You were asking a question? Oh, here.
Yeah, no, someone was complaining about the audio of some. I don't know who they're complaining about. It might just be someone trolling, but maybe we're gonna have to buy Sean a studio quality mic. We're gonna have to get you an MV7, a Shure MV7. So if I'm gonna get some money up and we'll send you one. All right, Sean.
Right on. I'm down that. I sing too, so that's great.
What mic are you using now?
I'm just using a Corsair game headset.
What kind of stuff do you sing?
Everything. I could sing absolutely everything.
Yeah, like
I love.
to the jungle.
I can do that too.
Knees.
Knees. That's how he does it, right?
Knees. Yeah.
Anyways, laser
Nice,
flux.
dude.
So
Sorry.
yeah, this is what he's explaining. The low and hot air densities in the LSC wave and how the laser flux hits it and the particles.
Can you hear now?
Hey.
There you go. All right. We just did an audio check. We're good, so
Okay.
they can hear us now.
All right. Oh shit! I went a little too fast there. Should have made it big.
Air breathing pulse jet engines. That's what it is. It just breathes the air and pulses the air around. What better propulsion to use than the abundance of what's around you? You know, I'm sure. And what's weird is like they have to have one. If they can do it with air, they have to have figured out how to do it with water, right?
Yeah, of course. And I believe water is half of water plasma is half of the little trick to getting everything we want to acquire with a little amount of energy, because it likes to create clusters and cavitate. But anyway, so these laser fluxes obviously hit the molecules or particles, I should say, and hot, it creates hot air pressure and all that stuff. Laser absorption. It's going to expand, the electrons orbitals into a higher orbit by seeding it with a laser, which energizes it, and not only that, it resonates it. Oh darn! For some reason, I have to make this smaller in order to do that. Oh.
What are those? The air molecules themselves?
Yeah, that's the air molecules themselves. This is the high pressured air.
Mostly nitrogen. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
of
of course.
oxygen. Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah. And yeah, here's the difference between LSD waves and then the LSC wave process.
Far out.
Yeah,
That's a trip.
it is. Trippy stuff. Trippy stuff. Okay.
I
I'd
don't
like
care
to-
if they don't like my nerd jokes.
All right, we'll go back to where we were. The more exciting stuff, my opinion.
Yeah, dude. Sean is a genius at finding stuff. Burger King customer says, hey, I've searched for info on that light craft for years, but never found this paper.
Go on NASA. They have everything there. You will not believe what you think is classified and isn't.
Oh, yeah. So why don't we share some sources? What's that called? It's
This one?
How do you spell
Or-
it? ASA?
Not the NASA document. It would be.
Oh, all the stuff on NASA, right? Just on NASA.gov, right?
Yeah, it would be the NASA Tech Briefs website. Hold on. Tech Briefs.
Dude, all this shit
Yeah, there
has
it
been
is.
declassified. I swear, it's like you're looking at stuff. You're like, this has to be classified, but all of it's been declassified over the.
Oh yeah.
It's all coming out, bro. It's
So-
literally, I swear, all this secret space program, it's no longer a secret, man.
So we're gonna get to cylinder configurations. Everyone's heard of cylinder configurations. So here we go. So here is the cylinder. I think it's more a little flat with these ends, but it's more of an.
So these are those rods. So
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
just bugs going by on cameras. There's really
Yeah, yeah.
friggin' rods.
Yeah, there's rods, and they could be huge. Like they could be O'Neill spheres in space if
Get
you want
the
them.
fuck out.
Oh yeah, and they could be the motherships that send the
Yeah, I
energy
just dropped an
to
F-bomb.
the other crafts.
I said a bunch of S words up until now, but that was the first F-bomb. I can't. Why is this? Oh my God. And
So
the
like
UFO
I've seen.
community, people hate me. They think like I'm a disinfo agent because I'm not sucking the Tic Tacs, you know.
So yeah, the laser flux literally goes in, and I've seen it looks like there's a picture, and I swear you've posted it before on one of your videos, and it's black, and it looks like a submarine in a submarine place, but it looks kind of like a cylinder, but it's like flatter. So it looks more elliptical. You know what I mean? Like it's instead of a giant cylinder, it's more like just flatter down, but it has vents like that, like as it shows in the laser flex here.
Jesse Sanez said he took the grandmother challenge, and he said that Nana never heard of no tic tac. Thank you, Jesse.
All right. So, anyways, here's another explanation of how this thing could fly through the atmosphere and stuff. He's explaining like how the expanding gas is performed on the bottom of the craft, and then fresh cooled air, of course, probably because he's pulsing. Yep, pulsed expansion air. And yeah, he's there. See, like he's showing like where the blast waves are happening.
And NASA doesn't get. You know what's weird is that the PR campaign at NASA, right, is like they can't talk about any of this stuff or brag about it or advertise it anyway. It's there for people to find who are looking for it and stuff. I guess they put it out just to like.
No, yeah, the idea is like if you really think about it legitimately, if this is type of like secret stuff and you get into it, they just kind of like comb you out and be like, oh no, come work for us here.
Yeah,
you get paid good.
I haven't gotten offered a job yet, man, but like it's time to take this public. So if there's a company out there that is ready to go, my email box is open. I don't know. I just I would love to, but it has to be public, and it has to be a collaborative effort. I'd like to get like we've had Boeing people on, we've had Airbus guy from last week. We've had we got to get some more people from NASA. I got to reach out to some more contacts from there. I would love to get Sony White on. Sony White is one of the researchers from NASA who's working on warp drive for NASA currently, and he's head of like their warp drive initiative program. What's the sorry, now that I distracted you with this, let me find the Sonny White thing. Sonny White, NASA. What's the name of the project that he's working with? It's not the M drive. They did do some stuff with an M drive. They have a different idea for this warp drive and their experiments. What the heck is it called now? I'll get back to it in a second. Sorry for a distraction. I forget the name of their program. Anyone knows the name of the EagleWorks? EagleWorks. It's right there in front of me, the first one. Dumbass. So it's called EagleWorks. This is Sonny White. Ames Research is one of the places where a lot of the secret space program research has been done over the years. It's like there in Huntsville have been like the two main places for real serious advanced propulsion and scientific research. So it would be great to go, recruit some people from those areas and see if they'd be willing to present some materials. I'm just looking for people that want to present openly to the public. And but we've been involved with some of those people, and they're really worried about secrecy and PR and the whole, like they can't speak for NASA. They'll get sued, like NASA keeps a lot of this stuff like tightly under, I don't know. They keep it tight to their chest, but it's there.
Yeah, so here's another one I was looking at, which I thought would be pretty cool, because like these craft are literally just beam catchers and mirrors, and they're saying that if you put a beam catcher or mirror in front of these vehicles to help, organize the laser flux. Remember, this is the 80s. This is before, I'm sure, like they got into phase conjugate mirrors and stuff, technology. And all those smart skids and stuff. But anyways, I believe that he was just like literally reflecting like these. You create like a saucer craft in front of this, and just have it reflect the energy needed in order to move this huge vessel through the air. But anyways, that's just a thought. That's not really what they said. But anyways, here's also another aerodynamic hull, nose up altitude, and vortex augmented lift through different types of methods. I haven't even got to the good part where they're showing how to seed clouds and use clouds in order to use it as a propulsion method. That gets really cool. Okay.
What happened? How am I echoing? 1 second. I'm going to I wanted to thank Hopper Cosmic for the $50 super chat. That's the first super chat of the morning. We have 266, which is an exceptionally high number, above average. Guys, this is just a pre-conference. We're ramping up to our APEC Conference marathon at 3:30 p.m. And I just wanted to run over some, thoughts on Elon Musk. And, we're going to talk about the stuff that in the warp drive technology and the research that's been done that he needs to really look at and have some engineers looking at. Or if he doesn't have a department already looking into this stuff, then literally I will work for free. And hook me up, give me a call. Like I will provide all the information that I have openly and work for free, man. So what is wrong with my audio? Why does my audio suck? I don't understand. Like, I hate people saying this, but echo.
Okay, so this is pretty cool that they have a
I want to
trailing
answer
vortex.
her question, though. Sorry. I want to
Oh,
answer Hopper's.
sure.
I didn't even read her question, and I want to answer it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
My bad.
I want to make sure my audio is working right, and I'm reading all these other comments that says my audio aren't working right. So her question was, Jeremy, your thoughts on this electric universe, plasma and dark matter related stuff. Not really a science buff, and I want to siphon through the disinformation and grifting. Have you heard of the Suspicious Observers YouTube channel? Yes, and I am familiar with these electric universe. I have a couple thoughts to share on that, and I'm sure Jeremiah can chime in on this as well. With the electric universes, the problem is, right, physics has stagnated. There hasn't been a major breakthrough in like 50 years. We've talked about, there's a lot of points that I agree on with some of those electric universe people. There are some good people with some good ideas within that group. But what's happened within the scientific community and particularly on the internet in the last decade is that literally people have lost faith in the whole church. Mainstream science has become like the Catholic Church during Galileo. And it's really like they're refusing to see anything that's outside the realm of their limited scope, of their limited theory that hasn't been changed and hasn't really been resolved to link quantum mechanics and general relativity, which were, invented in the 1920s, literally. So this is, ancient theory. The latest updates that's been made to those theories were made in like the 1950s. And we've been chasing those shadows of string theory and, illusionary it's basically been mathematical masturbation in the, ever since. And that's all that physics has really done. And it's lost track of the experimental side and kind of written off a lot of anomalies that have occurred over the years in laboratories like, Pons and Fleischmann, to award-winning electrochemists who reported, cold fusion and were basically ostracized from the scientific community along with all their colleagues for years. So these kinds of things have reemerged. They've been forced underground. Cold fusion is kind of a life of its own. It's separate from the electric universe thing, but the electric universe is another side of that that's emerged from the whole Nikola Tesla and the secret papers with Tesla, and how a lot of Tesla's deeper research was covered up, and so there are some valid things in the Tesla research that we've experimented with, and that you can, we've talked about, like the other thing we talked about, the 3M invisible wall phenomenon, and electrostatic fields and these other things, which are real, but they've been classified and covered up for many years, and now, thanks to the internet, all this stuff, they can't keep it secret anymore, and people are connecting dots, and you got channels like Veritasium talking about that effect, the Dallakosov effect, I think, whatever it's called, with the rotating T thing, where they busted and they took a thing off in space on the Russian space station, and they kept it secret for like 40 years. It was top secret, and it was just the fact that the thing would flip directions when it rotated.
Was it an even amount of revolutions before it flipped?
Yeah, it was like a periodic flipping.
And the timing was constant though. That's what I'm curious.
Yeah, it was like a periodic. Let me find a video of this effect.
But because that would just mean like obviously maybe electron spin or something, or like maybe they're jumping for orbits or something at a certain time. That could be reasons why it could flip in space, right? The weightlessness of space.
Yeah, this is it. The bizarre. It's called the tennis racket effect. That was like how they hit it. They said it was. They wouldn't say that it was discovered on the space station or anything about how it worked in zero gravity, because they didn't want. They wanted the. It was just an edge thing, I guess. They wanted the. They didn't want their. It was everything was kept like this in the Cold War, because all the space technology was, a lot of it was developed for the Cold War, and it was a lot of it, these secret things like that they discovered were kept secret because they didn't want the Russians to get access to them, and now there's no secrets anymore with that, solar winds hack and everything. I don't think there's any such thing as secrecy anymore. We're literally living in a post secrecy world. I mean, for the most part, and maybe not everywhere in the world, but for the most part of the world, it's there are no secrets anymore. But this is the video where it talks about the flipping effect, and there's math that show how it works and that these people figured out and stuff. But that's just one example of just something tiny like that was kept classified, and then it's not even super relevant, or it wouldn't appear to be relevant to anything that we know of. And it doesn't make any sense why that would be classified. But anyways, what was the point we were on right before that? About the electric universe people, right? Back to your question about the electric universe, is that there's kind of these groups that have sprung up to, focus on these suppressed areas of science and progress. But the electric universe is kind of morphed. It's a very large movement. And they've brought in a lot of people that, I don't know, have some bad ideas too. So it's kind of morphed into almost like a cult, There's like, everything is a cult if you really think about it. I was just having this discussion, like cult is cult. Cult comes from the word culture. And what was this? The electric universe. Cult comes from the word culture. And the Thunderbolts Project, these guys... it's just a counterculture that's emerged out of the people's distrust for mainstream science and their belief that there has to be something more and has to be something different. You know what I mean? So it attracts some crackpots. Yes, there are some people that are drawn to this because they don't want to compete at the academic level at the real top levels of physics and stuff. So. But I don't know. We would love to have those guys on our conference. Some of them, the better ones, the ones that we like, and sort of help weed out those, truths and the truth tellers from the people that are just these kind of cult people, or that don't really aren't really interested in the science and math, and are just kind of winging it. They have their own theories that they're just trying to prove their theory, and they're not just there just to learn more and open to ideas. You know what I mean? There's some people like that. So, in any case, Sean, I'll give you back the floor to go back into this patent and.
All right, cool. So, this craft is creating counter rotational vortexes through induction or induced flow. Direction of induced flow. And what's happening, obviously, it's going to create a power doing that. Two differentials always create power. I believe that's half the method of making these cylinders lift. All right, let's go to something better. A little more juicier anyways. Okay, so yeah, there's the MHD generator pulse jets exhaust boards. Okay. Yeah, that's wild, because that means that they have literally full control over the plasma they create. Okay, let's find something a little more. All right. Where am I? Sorry, I'm just going up here. I got to figure out if I'm in the right section or not for what I thought. Okay, so yeah, this is the electrical storm atmospheric coupling mechanism. So I haven't really read into this very much yet before, but I'm just going to go through it with you, I guess. So there's a magnetic upwash induced by the trailing vortexes, which creates the lift of the craft. Wow, it's fascinating. So that's why the counter rotation is needed too. All right. So the idea is to be able to manipulate clouds in the area. So cloud seeding, some people don't agree or don't believe in it, but there was a document released recently that during the what was it, Vietnam War, I believe it was, they were able to extend the monsoon season using cloud seeding technologies. And it's gone from there, right? They used what was it, silver iodine, something like that, and they were able to extend it so that they thought they were going to win the war that way. But anyways, this would be cloud seeding using energy
Then
instead
one day
of.
the rain. It was in Forrest Gump, right? Then one day the rain started, and it didn't stop.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome movie. So, anyways, the EM-bound vortex, yeah, the magnetic field lines generating by the bound vortex alone, the flight past center line, the vehicles end view.
So
All right, and let's see. Let's get to the juicy stuff. So this is how they're going to the atmospheric charging process, and the plan is to literally create protons, the electrons out the top end, bottom end, and they build it up, and they can create a current discharge. So obviously they can discharge it too. That's wild. And I wish I could get to the cloud part because I know I showed that to Mark and he really liked it. Okay. Oh, here's a little bit more on how it works, I guess. Oh, this is the MHD propulsion systems for submarines. I believe this is the explanation behind it. How the history of it.
oh, sweet.
Yeah, so that's in here too. So, and I'll make sure you share the document number for this so that they can go on the NASA website and get it. Do you need it?
Yeah, well, you just post it in the description if you could,
Sure.
so
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have it. Because I don't. I mean, that's basically what I'm going to do with it. So if you can
Yeah.
do it for me, that would be awesome, guys.
Right.
I don't want to keep this going much longer. We're
Yeah.
just hit an hour, and I've got to go get ready for this stream that's coming up. And some people have been complaining about the stream quality. I'm going to go reset my router, maybe throw some fans on it or something because it seems to be getting super hot with all the streaming. So I'm going to try and go and get that figured out and get my audio as crisp as possible and dialed in. And we'll see you at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. And if you haven't already subscribed, go to my channel and hit the subscriptions. We're going to be having some great guests coming on soon. And, maybe I can talk to Elon Musk himself, man, now that I've thrown the challenge out there and I lost my temper at him because it's just like, I don't know. It's just crazy, these things. How have you not heard of this and how are you not researching warp drive? And hopefully we've introduced you to some stuff here, given you some documents, given you at least a little taste of what's to come. And definitely, if you want to learn more, tune into the past APECs on my channel, Epic APEC Conferences, altpropulsion.com, AmericanAntiGravity.com, and make sure you like and subscribe. And thank you. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna end this meeting, and we're gonna shut down the stream. Thank you all. Have a great one. We'll see you at 3:30.